Hi, my name is Benjamin Faust, and I was once in a split test. I worked at a call center for a period of time, and we were making calls. And it was an unusual call center in that I had a headset here, or an earpiece here, and an earpiece here, and I had two computers. And my job was to listen to the caller, and I would actually I wouldn't talk myself, but I would press buttons on one of the two computers. My right hand was controlling the call in my right ear, and the left one was controlling the call in my left ear. And my job was to memorize some codes, and if people asked this question or asked that question, or then I could punch in a code, and then a pre-recorded voice, not mine, would actually talk on my behalf. And if I ever needed a supervisor, I would just flip down the microphone and I could be my own supervisor. Anyway, the split test was this. They wanted to know for a certain campaign if a male voice was better or if a female voice was better. And so we had, sometimes we would have the male voice going and sometimes we would have the female voice going, and they crunched the data to find out which result was better. That is a split test, and that was very scientific. We could see, we try it this way, we try that way, over a large number, we can see what works better. This kind of approach is done in medicine also. For example, if you have a new drug that can cure a certain illness, you can take a population of people with that illness, split them into several groups. Try your new drug with this group at a low dose, at a medium dose, and a high dose, 3 different groups there. Then you might try a couple other groups with your drug, with another drug, to see if they work better together. And then you're going to have some groups that don't get the medicine, they just get a control or a placebo, and then you see which result is better. Typically, split tests are considered ethical, but in economics we have a couple of problems. For one, it may not be ethical if we're going to, for example, look at different economic systems to find out whether communism or capitalism or maybe some combination of the two is better. We can't just assign those things within a country because the country is all interconnected. We also may not be able to do it ethically. If we know, for example, that capitalism has better results, is it really ethical for us to put some people under communism's banner just so we can prove a point? And with split tests, we have to wait for, in economics, we have to wait for an example to happen in history or in geopolitics in order for us to test. Several such of these have come up, and one I'd like to talk about is the split between North and South Korea. Now, the Korean Peninsula has similar climate, the same language, same culture, or did before the split. You split it into North and South, you've given yourself a split test. We're going to apply certain economic principles to one, certain economic principles to the other, and you can see the results. And you can study the results, and that's empirically very good, and at the same time, it doesn't have the ethical dilemma it does if we were to take a nation, split them, and deliberately do that to them. It naturally occurred. Well, what was the result of the North-South Korea split, and how did the test come out? Well, if you're familiar at all, you know South Korea is a developed nation, it's wealthy, it's doing very well, and North Korea still struggles with poverty and even basic nutrition, to the point where North Korean men are slightly shorter than South Korean men, primarily due to nutrition. And so, North-South Korea gave us a chance to study it. Another example was East and West Germany, and when we do our split tests given to us by geopolitical forces, the answer is clear. Those countries who favor a capitalist system or a mixed economy blending capitalism with some socialist ideas far outweigh those who are built on a communist system.